that video, all the smoke coming out of my exhaust, it wasn't coming out the muffler. It's broke. Now, I'll show you why. Let me explain. So as you can tell from the little clip, that muffler is a little busted up. And what happened was about, let's see, 2 years ago, I lose track of time so quick, I can't keep up. My wife makes fun of me because I'm out here in the woods and I try to figure out time and years. I can't do it. So a couple years ago, we had a guy moving the chipper for us. Will is the one that moves our chipper. That's who I'm loading right now. Will takes good pride in moving the chipper, and it's very nice to have somebody like Will move the chipper because he'll actually check, he'll actually go over the chipper, make sure the brakes are all good, make sure everything's running good, make sure the axles all are good. He'll check all that stuff, and if something's wrong, he'll actually call the shop, let them know, hey, we need this for the chipper. So having him move this thing is an absolute dream. Very nice. But Will worked for us, and then Will went to work for a gas company. So we had somebody else moving it. We were in this job, I know right where it's at. It was, me and one skidder did 14 loads in one day. Me and one guy. We rolled wood out of that place. We had 5 of our trucks running, and we had 4 subcontracted trucks running. But this chipper and the 545C Cat, we put some wood out. It was nice wood. But what happened was, it was a little tricky getting in there, and it wasn't that bad. Ooh, stay away from my hoses, you little rascal, piece of ash. So he was turning in there, and it wasn't that difficult. Okay, but he got over too far, and this nice big oak tree caught the side of that radiator that the guard's been on. What it did was, is that radiator's bolted on outside of the frame of the motor, and it twisted the radiator up like this, and the motor of course didn't move. Well, the only thing that connects the two together, other than the frame, which really don't matter, is what Morberg did was they put the muffler off the motor and attached it onto the side of the radiator. Okay, and so I had to loosen the bolts that hold the radiator on to get it to sit back down straight. Well, in the process, we also had antifreeze leaking out. It ruined the fan. So we had all these problems. We got them all fixed, but the only problem was I was never able to get the bolts really, really, really tight in that radiator because I just can't get them as tight as Morberg had them originally. And I'll show it to you. See how the frame extends out there a ways for the motor? And so nothing really solid connects the radiator to your motor, which it doesn't need to, but they just put the exhaust and connected the exhaust out there. Everything else is flexible. All the boots are flexible, so that can shake a little bit, and it's gonna shake a little bit. Just because every time a piece of wood hits them knives, it causes a vibration. Well, we got a new fan for it. but I could never get them bolts as tight as it was before. So this is actually the second exhaust we put on it. This exhaust lasted probably a year and a half. We probably got a new exhaust probably 6 months after that. Probably been a year and a half I've had that exhaust on here, that muffler. And it just recently went to beans. And so then it throws a bunch of smoke on my motor, which is kind of irritating. And everybody out there knows when you have something like that happen, and every time something like that irritates you, you just kind of get flashbacks to what took place. And what do you do? What do you do? You can't get mad. They ain't gonna fix nothing. So I deal with it. But I'm gonna have to try to tighten them bolts again. They're in a really tight spot to get to. And it took some work. I mean, some breaker bars and stuff to get them loose, because Morbark had them babies tight. And that's the only, probably I wouldn't say frustrating part. That's just, I wouldn't even say it. That's the worst thing that the Morbark did on this chipper. Hey, you ain't gonna hear me complaining. I haven't found nothing that's any worse, so I guess that's probably the worst design that Morbark had on this. If that's the worst design I can figure out on this whole pig, Morbark's got it going on, which they do. And that was the only frustrating thing. That thing was connected out there. We either might just have to get a new muffler, or might have to design it a little differently, where we can come off the frame and bolt the muffler off the frame and not off the side of that radiator, so it doesn't keep giving us fits. It drives me nuts. You like to keep stuff clean, and when you got stuff, that black stuff on there, so I just don't care. But that's where that happened. I remember the trail, I remember the tree, I remember the chipper. He actually drove into it and didn't know it, and kept driving. And it had the radiator bent up about 10 inches. And I don't like to talk about it. And he had about 2 foot on the other side of the truck where he could have swung wider. That's neither here nor there. It happened, whatever, right? That's what happened to my beautiful exhaust, and it's never been the same. If I break it, then I can at least blame myself and get mad at myself, but what do you do? Keep on keeping on, keep on rolling. But that was the problem until she got busted up. That's why you see some smoke rolling out of there when she's doing the cold start, because she is broke, and that is what happened. And it wasn't cool. It wasn't cool. But that motor, that C13 on there has been running strong for us. Both these motors on this chipper, all you Cat boys, Cat diesel power, I swear by Cat motors. That's all I'll say. I've run Skinner. I've run Skinner. I had Cummins, John Deere. Dealt with both of those. And we got Cats on these chippers, but you can get them with John Deere's and Cummins if you want. This one had Cats on it. Thank you, Lord. But that C13, it's got 5574 on it. And see this right here? You're going to be like, that's a nice log. Look at it. Roll over. See that big hole in that thing? It's jump. But that C13 has been a strong motor for us, and I like the whole way it's set up. I just love everything about that thing. It works beautiful. So, anyways, that's my busted muffler and how it happened. Truck drivers,